Hi guys, so in today's video, we're going to be making a Deco Mesh Bumblebee wreath, and we are going to be using a 14-inch wreath form from the dollar store. I put my own pipe cleaners on, that way I didn't have to buy a work form. It's a lot cheaper. I get the pipe cleaners at the dollar store also. They come in a variety pack of different colors, and I just buy a bunch of the packs, and then I have a bunch of the colors. And these are only supplies from the Dollar Tree, and then the rest of the supplies I got online at the Wreath shop. So if you're looking to make some stuff, some wreaths, and you can't go to the stores right now because of this coronavirus, you have to order online. The Wreath shop is a great option. You could also order from Craft Outlet. I have an order coming on Thursday from Craft Outlet for a hunting wreath I have an order on, so I can make a video on that too. So this is my first ever YouTube video for wreath making, so please excuse me if it's kind of bad. I'm trying my best. I'll get better and better. So yes, I'll show you the materials we're going to be using. I started it a little bit. I already cut most of my Deco Mesh. This is just Deco Poly Mesh. This is like the packaging that it came in. I got a yellow and a black. I've already cut the 12-inch strips. I have a couple more to cut just to show you guys how to do it. And then I also already cut my ribbons. I'll show you the ribbons that we're going to be using. So I have this yellow and polka dots. These are 2.5-inch, and this is another 2.5-inch black and yellow stripe. And then my two 1.5-inch are right here. So I have this Bumblebee one right here, and then another Bumblebee one here. These are 1.5 inches. And then I'd be using this pick. Looks like little Bumblebee balls. I'll be cutting them off the stick and using them. And then the sign for today is this one, again from the Wreath shop. Get this in frame. It's as cute as a bee. So I already put the pipe cleaners on the back. I just put paper over the top, and then I fold them again just to make sure they're secure. That way I know they're not coming out. And then the tools I'm going to be using today are just your regular rotary cutter, a mat to cut it on right here. I used a scissors. I have my hot glue gun plugged in, and my hot glue skillet. I'm not sure if I'm going to need both of them, but I plugged them in just in case. A wire cutters for the stick, and then this pliers for the hanger that we'll be making at the end. I already cut my ribbons like I told you. I did a dovetailing at the end of each one of them, so they're done. So all we need to do is just cut the rest of our mesh. So I'll get this out of the way, and we'll cut the rest of the mesh. I'm cutting the mesh at 12 inches each, and so you can see right there. I'm cutting him at 12, so we'll quick do that. Make sure your thing is on, and I just cut them, and then I just throw them to the side for right now. We'll get them all cut, and then we'll show you how to add them onto a wreath. So you're going to cut 3. We'll do 3 for now, and then we'll show you at the end. I have to cut a total of 6 because I already have the rest of mine cut. So we'll cut 3, and then we'll bring these in. We're going to do the Crinkle Method for these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring them in, and you're going to start down here on the bottom. Make sure the regular end, like right here, is sideways. So you're going to fold them up where you've cut, from where one end you cut to the other end. Like this, you're just going to go in the middle, and you're just going to scruffle it up like a bow tie, as you can kind of see. It's like a bow tie. And now if you have a Bodabra, you can always stick it down in there, or if you have any other type of thing. I just stick it in my fingers. It's perfectly fine. It's easy for me, but if you need to buy a Bodabra, or if you need to set it in something, maybe you can make something. And you take 3 of them. So just like that. And you take your 3, and you scrumple them up, and you put them in your fingers like that. So now you have this clump of 3. Now you're going to take your wreath form, And you're gonna start, I'm gonna start on this one. I always start, so as you can see, I put them in the first loop and the third loop. This one, I have them going sideways because I'm gonna have it going sideways. And this one, it's gonna go the other way. So this way, it's gonna go this way, up and down. And I just bring it in. I have full pipe cleaners because I'm gonna be adding ribbon. If you don't wanna add ribbon, you can always cut your pipe cleaners in half, and then you don't have to worry about using as many pipe cleaners, but I use the pipe cleaners to keep my ribbon on the wreath. So then you're going to take your yellow or whatever other color you're using, or if you're just going to use a solid color, maybe you just want to make a red wreath or a blue wreath, you just use whatever colors that you're using. I'm using yellow and black. You're going to need 2 rolls of 10-inch mesh. You're gonna have a little bit left over, but not as much. So you have to use 2 rolls if you're gonna make this method. There's other methods where you could use only 1 roll, but since I'm using this method, I need 2 rolls. So again, scrumple them up like so. Put them in your hands or your bodega or whatever you choose to do. I just use my hands because it's a lot easier for me. I still have young hands, so I can fold them in there, and then you're gonna bring back your wreath form and you're gonna add them in. This one I'm gonna add sideways. And then you just bring them in, pull it real tight, like so. Don't worry about fluffing them right now, we'll fluff them later. Now we're gonna go back with our black, and we have to do one more cut with this black, and then I think we're done with the black because I have the rest of the mesh already cut. Now where's my rotary cutter? Already. So this is just regular deco mesh. It has no foiling or anything in it. It's just plain deco mesh. It's a lot cheaper that way. It's got no foiling, and it looks a lot nicer. I'm not trying to make it real nice and bright and sparkly. This is going to be just a regular nice bumblebee wreath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just cut the yellow, so that way we're done with the yellow for right now. And then we don't have to worry about cutting anymore. Then we can just worry about scruffling. I have to do the rest of the scruffles, and I'm trying to make this video a little bit longer. Some of my videos, when I start making more videos, I won't add all of it in, but just for any beginners or people that don't really know, just so that they can watch how I do it. So what we're gonna need is black first. So you take your 3 black again, like I said, and just scruffle them up. Don't worry about being perfect. It's not gonna be perfect. That's what makes it unique, is when but make sure that it's somewhat in the middle, and then bring them together, and then you tie them in. So what I'm doing is I'm just scruffling them. And if you like these kind of videos, watching wreaths being made, give this video a like. Comment down below if you're making a wreath while you're watching this, or if you're getting an idea from this, or you're planning on making a wreath but you are watching some ideas on how to make them. They're very fun, and they are a lot cheaper to make them than to buy them in a store, and then you can add your own touches to them. Whatever you like. Maybe you don't like what the stores have, but you want to add something yourself, or maybe you want to make a wreath with your guys' last name in it, or your last name monogram, or a wreath with your picture of your family in it. Anything, you can personalize it either way, and pick whatever ribbons you like, or if you want to make a sign yourself, maybe you want to make a sign and you want to maybe like do one for your kids, and you want to make a sign with their handprints or something, or anything you would like, you can add into your wreath. It's very versatile, and you can always add it. So as you can see, we're starting to get poofs, but don't worry if you can see the thing, because we're going to go in with a couple more poofs after, and make it a little bit more full. And then we'll also be adding our sign and our ribbons, and it will be nice and full at the end. So the rest of this mesh that I already had cut, so we're done with the cutting. And if you didn't understand it, you can always go back to the end of the video, and watch. I cut it at 12 inches for every single one of them. And they're already 10 inches across, because that's how much the roll came. So it's going to be a 10 by 12 piece of mesh at the end. And then you put them in clumps of 3. I'm going to add that over to the end. Don't worry about this fraying. We did cut it, so there's going to be some fraying. Anytime you're going to cut the mesh, it's going to fray a little bit. Don't let that bother you, because it's not going to fray as much for this technique, because you didn't have to cut it as much. So I'm just going along, adding this in. You could use a work wreath form for this. I just tend not to, because I just think it's a lot more money when you can just buy the pipe cleaners and add them in yourself. Yes, it's a little bit more work, but guess what? Sometimes you have to add a little bit more work into your wreath. If you're trying to save money, that's one way you can save money. This costed me less than $2, because I didn't use, I got a package of pipe cleaners at the dollar store for $1, and I don't use all the pipe cleaners in that package, so it's about $1.25 maybe, because then the work wreath form, or the form, is $1, and of course you're using the whole form. So if you like these videos, make sure to subscribe. That way you can see more videos like this. I have a order for a hunting wreath coming up. It should be coming on Thursday, the materials, and today's Tuesday, so they'll be here soon. And that one's going to be very interesting, because they don't want a sign in the middle. They would like a picture frame, and I've never done that before, but I think it's a really cool idea, because they're adding their own picture into it, and they can make it'll be more personal. So I have this really cool, like, poly burlappy brown with like mossy green and like a darker orange, with this really cool ribbon, 2 different ribbons, and then I have some moss on a stick coming. It's like sphagnum moss or something, I don't really remember. It was really cool, and I just looked up, I went on Craft Outlet and I just looked up hunting, and everything that's related to hunting to put into a wreath was in that section, and that's how I went with that. And for this Bumblebee wreath, I went on to the wreath shop, and they had a section in their shop that just said themes, and they had a bunch of different themes, and Bumblebee was one of them. So I went in there and I went in, and all the stuff that you could use for a Bumblebee wreath was in there. I picked the ribbons that I liked, I picked the sign that I liked, I picked the meshes that I liked, and then I got the pick with the balls, and it was a lot easy, just because some people, they go into a shop and they're like, oh my god, I don't know what to add into my wreath. I hate picking out the ribbons, because what happens if it doesn't match? And that makes it a lot easier, because they had a bunch of different themes. They had a ladybug theme, which I got that, so I can make a ladybug theme video sometime soon, you guys. Whenever I feel like making that wreath. I just finished a patriotic wreath yesterday. I have finished all my spring and Easter wreaths. Easter was just this last Sunday, so I'm done with my Easter wreaths. So now I'm working on summer and patriotic, 4th of July, and then before you know it, I'll be making fall. I'm just trying to clear off my desk, because this wreath is kind of getting in, bumping into a bunch of the stuff, so excuse me for that. We need yellow. That way I have more room. So I hope you guys can see everything. I have kind of jimmy rigged this setup for now until I figure out a more helpful and permanent setup. I'm filming this off of my phone, so I hope the quality of the video is okay. Eventually, I want to use my mom's camera. She said I could use it. She doesn't really use it, but I don't have a laptop to edit, so I have to figure out how to do that. So for now, we're going to use my phone, and hopefully it's good. This ribbon is in my way. My desk is too small, you guys. I don't have a craft, or like a wreath or craft room. I share it with my bedroom. I just have a table and have all my wreath supplies and mesh and stuff all in my closet. I have dedicated to some of that stuff, and then I also have a closet down on the second level of our house for all my other stuff. So yes, and I was actually, if you're looking into getting into the wreath business, or you love making a wreath but you don't like going to the store and buying all this stuff, and you're looking to get a bunch of the materials and the tools for kind of cheaper, I actually just was on Craigslist the other day, and I found a lady that was selling a bunch of her wreath supplies. She was getting out of the, she said she didn't have enough time for the wreath to make a wreath, and she was selling all of her stuff. There was a ton of deco mesh, a ton of signs, a ton of work for like wreath forms, a bunch of ribbon, and like different pieces, florals, a whole bunch of fall florals. There was a bunch of spring. There was different like little like snowflakes and ornaments, and like large spiders for Halloween, and Easter bunnies for Easter, and Easter egg picks for Easter, and like candy cane picks for Christmas, and all sorts of stuff. So if you're looking to get into the wreath business, that's a great place to look, because you can get a bunch of stuff to start off with for very cheap. I could not find, did not know where I was looking for this couldn't find the other pipe cleaner. So now that you're looking at this, you're like, okay, why is this coming out? So now you're gonna take your wreath and you're gonna tip it over, and you're just gonna poof these. Oh, not that hard that it comes out. I don't think I had that. I don't think you guys even seen that. The pipe cleaner came out. But what I'm doing right now is I'm taking this bottom and I'm pushing it out, because you don't want all this mesh to be in the back. You're not going to see that. You want it to start to get poofy in the front. So what I kind of do is, if you can see right here is one of the pipe cleaners, I kind of push on it. That way it gets trained that it needs to stay out. I push it so that the wire inside the pipe cleaner kind of bends that way, so that it helps it stay that way. And we're not done adding mesh yet. You might say, well, you have no more pipe cleaners. But I have 6 cut in half pipe cleaners. Sorry, I have the hiccups. Right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to make 3 more of each color poofs, and we're going to add that into the wreath, and I'll show you how I do that. If you think your wreath is full enough and you can't see the frame, you could stop it right there and then start adding your ribbon and your signs and your other florals and whatever you're going to add into your wreath. But if you're like me and you want it real poofy and you don't want to see your form, especially like me, because I'll be selling these wreaths, I don't want people to be able to see them. I want them to look real nice. I like to add in these extra 6 poofs, and just adding in these extra 6 poofs will really help make your wreath look a lot more full, and it'll bring out a bunch of the bare spots. So what I do is, since there's like 6 dividers around your wreath, I add one in between, in the middle of each of those. And it just helps bring it a lot more poofy. I'm going to move this over a little bit, you guys. I don't know if you guys can see. That should be a little bit better. Don't want to get you guys dizzy. Don't want to move it too fast. So, again, you're just, for these ones, they're going to do the same method that we've been doing for all the rest of the videos, or the other poofs. And I'm just checking the time to see where we're at. 19 minutes. I cut the mesh and I cut the ribbons because I didn't want this video to be 2 hours long, or even an hour and a half. I feel like that's way too long for a video, and you guys get the hang of it. I cut my, or actually I'll talk about that when I do talk about the ribbons, but I just cut these ahead of time. If you're doing this and you're not making a video like me, as soon as you cut them, that's when I usually just, as soon as I cut and I have 3, I start adding them to my wreath. I don't usually cut them all and then do it, but for the sake of this video, I wanted to show you guys me adding them into the wreath, just so if there's any beginners or people that want to make a wreath, they know what I'm doing. So if you do like that type, or if you guys want me to make a video where I don't cut anything and I just cut all my mesh on camera and I cut all my ribbons on camera and I put my pipe cleaners on my thing and or on my form, and I put the pipe cleaners on my sign, and I do everything, I don't do anything ahead of time, comment down below and tell me that, and I can always make a video for like that. But if you don't like that, comment what you like. If you like me doing everything on camera, or if you like what I'm doing today, where I did most of it off camera, but I still showed you how to cut some of the mesh, and I showed you, I can always even start and have almost the whole wreath filled in with the mesh, and then go in with like 2 or 3 bundles and show you if I do this wreath, or some of my other wreaths I do like the curl method in that video. I can't, if I did a full-on video for that video would be like 2 hours long, because you have to cut them and then curl them, and that just takes too long. So if I do that method, I'll probably do a lot of the wreath before I do this method, or before I start videotaping. That way you guys aren't sitting here watching. And you can always, if I do a video where I do the whole thing and you just want to watch and see how I do some of like the decorating or how I put the sign in, you feel free to skip ahead. But if you're a beginner and you're wanting to watch how I do all this, feel free to watch the whole video. So yes. Like I said, I sell these wreaths at, I am not on Etsy yet. I plan to be in the future. I have not yet. I'm still getting better at making these wreaths. It's really snowing out where I live. I live in Wisconsin, so it's the middle of April right now, and we're getting snow, and the window is like right here. So I'm looking outside as I'm talking, and I'm thinking, why is it snowing? It's supposed to be spring, not winter. Wisconsin's weather is very unpredictable. It didn't snow very much this winter, and now it's all coming to us in spring. So it was raining on Easter. So yes. So this is the last bundle. I'm gonna quick get it. And I'm just taking the half pipe cleaner. I don't know if I showed you guys this. And I'm adding it around, flipping it, pulling it tight, and then bending it right around about 3 or 4 times. You want to make sure it's secure. And don't worry about floofing it right now or poofing it. So what I have is I have 3 yellow. I think, I don't know where my other yellow went, over here. Duh, right in front of me. 3 yellow, and then 3 black. So a total of 6 to go in between all the different brackets. So I'm going to put those behind me so you guys can see this. And we'll bring our wreath in here. As you can see, it's getting full. So what we're going to do is I'm going to tip it over. I'm going to show you this, where I'm going to be doing this. So you can see right here is a bracket, and right here is a bracket. So we're going to come in here, and we're going to see that right here is, I think right here is going to be a good place to put the black. So right here is going to be in the middle between this bracket and this bracket, on the second one in from the back. We're going to push this guy down in there. And what I do is I just move it out of the way. And if you feel like you want to add these half pipe cleaners in here already, before we even put the wreath in, feel free to do that. I just keep them out because then it's just less in the way and it doesn't confuse me. So what I have it's in the second layer, it's in the middle, and I just twist it on. Twist it a couple times. I twist it a couple times, and then I take it and I go around the 3rd bracket. As you guys can see, I don't know if you guys can see, my hands are in the way. Sorry, but I'll show you in a second. I move this out of the way, and so as you see, I have it under this bracket, and I twist it around this, so that way the pipe cleaner ends with the metal do not scratch someone's door or wall. Since I do not put anything on the back of my wreaths when I'm done. Some people put felt or paper or like a coaster from the dollar store. I choose not to because I think if I have all my wires wrapped around, there should be no problem. And if my customer decides that they want to, they can do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and I'm going to bring it to this next one. So I'm going to be alternating. So I put black on this one. So now we're going to go and we're going to bring yellow. We're going to do yellow on this one. I'll bring this underneath like you can see. And I'm going to twist it on. I'll show you in a second. And I'll twist it. Twist it, twist it, twist it, twist it, twist it. So as you can see, black is here, now yellow's here. Now we'll go to the next one, which will be right here, and we'll do black. So we'll come under here, grab a black, put that out of the way, and I'll bring this down. This mesh tends to like to stick to each other, so just move it out of the way, and bring it up. So you can see this yellow's in the way. I'm in between now, and now I'm just gonna twist, 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 bring it under. Twist. If you guys hear yelling downstairs, my parents are down there. So hopefully it's not too distracting. I told them I'm filming, but they're still new at this. They don't really know. So, and I gotta give them some leeway. My wreaths are taking up their whole house. I have this wall downstairs in our basement. In our back room, our basement split up between like more like a family room with a bar, and then there's another room with all our storage stuff where we keep all our bins for all our holidays. And one of the walls in there, I have all my wreaths hanging up, so they're nice and still poofed. I don't have to throw them into a garbage bag, and that way I don't have to fluff them every time I want to take them out somewhere or take them to a craft fair. I was talking about this before, that I have not started selling on Etsy yet, but I plan to in the future, and you're probably wondering, well, where do you sell them? My uncle and aunt have a farm where I sell them at. They have pumpkin farms, so I usually sell them in the pumpkin farm. They usually have a craft day in spring. That's when I sell my spring stuff. Hopefully this year I can still sell them during that time. If our state opens up soon. But if not, I'm gonna have to I sell them on Facebook. Once I make a bunch of them, I post them on Facebook, and I've sold them that way before. But I really would like to start an Etsy shop. Just waiting to get a little bit better, and I'm still doing some research on it. If I want to sell them on Facebook or on Etsy, there's some other places I could sell them on. I'm just trying to research and get to know. That way I feel comfortable when I actually decide what I want to do. So we're on our last yellow for this wreath. And then we're going to find, I don't know where, over here. Right here. And we're going to, oops, I have so much stuff on this desk, I said. I have to keep all my crafting stuff on this table. And it gets very crammed. And I don't just make wreaths. I also do paper crafting. So I also make cards, and I do some signs. I'm not very good at it, so I don't do many signs. I do notebooks. I do like home decor sometimes. During Christmas time, I do different stocking stuffers and little small gifts. Like I make Hershey snowmen, which are very popular. I make different like little small gifts for like coworkers. So now you can see this wreath is very, I don't know if you can get the whole thing in. Kind of bring this out a little bit. It's very big and it's very poofed, so it is starting to look very well. I'm not trying to give you guys motion sickness from that. So what we're gonna do is, I'm not sure, I'm gonna quick grab my sign and I'm gonna see where I want to put my sign. That way I know where to put my ribbons and where not to put my ribbons. I did show you the sign already. So yes, it's just that sign. It's gonna go right down in the middle of the wreath. So I'm thinking I'll just do the ribbons and pull them outwards. So let me gather all my ribbons. All of them. I cut my ribbons at 12 inches long on each of them. That way there'll be 6-inch strips. I dovetailed all of them, and I pair them with a 1.5 and a 2.5 together. So what I do is I take my, I'm going to take this one because it's more of like a burlappy, and these two are kind of more of like a lacy, not as like textured. So I'm going to take one of the burlappy ones with this one. So like, I like these combinations. And what you got to do is you're going to fold them in half. And you're going to take the ribbon that you want showing. Don't put them like this, because if you put it like this, as you can see, this is the back. This is more clear. Don't bring it like this, otherwise this is what's going to be showing. Whatever you want showing is what you're going to bring to the top. So then what I do is I bring them up like that, and I fold them like that, and I pinch them like that. So now they're together. And now what you're going to do is you're going to take them down into, so you can see, you're going to just go down into one of your first pipe cleaner. Just, you choose wherever you want your first pipe cleaner. I'm just going to do whatever pipe cleaner I see first. Doesn't really matter to me. And I set it in there and I do like 2 or 3 twists. So now we have it in there. As you can see, it's in. It's poofy. And so I'm going to just move it out a little bit. And now you have it in there. So that's your first one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab our next one with the polka dots. And like I said again, add them in the way you want them to be shown. I can't stress that enough. When I first started, I did not really think of that whole concept. And as soon as I got done with and I think I might actually, I'm not sure, I might actually not do it like that. I'm trying to think if, I can't, guys, I keep coming out of the frame. I'm still getting used to this whole thing, you guys. So bear with me with the whole camera. I might go out of focus, but hopefully I remember. I will remember. I'm remembering. Like I said, this is my first video, so I'm so used to crafting by myself, and I just take my time and I sit down, watch YouTube, watch other people craft as I'm crafting, which I don't know if I like. I don't know if I like how close those are together or if it's fine, which I think I might actually, I think I like that because I'm going to go like this with these ribbons, and I'm going to bring them, as you can see, I'm going to bring them out like that. As you can see, out. So that way, when I bring my sign in here, like I'll show you, the sign, because I think if I have the ribbons in the middle, they're just going to get covered up by the sign, so what's the point of putting them in there? So I'm going to take this one out. See guys, you guys are seeing this all raw, me thinking. I didn't have a very good plan of what I was going to do. I said, I'm going to come on here, I'm going to show them what it's like to be a wreath maker. Sometimes you see these videos and they have this all planned out already and they know exactly what they're doing. Nope, that's not me. I plan it as I go, so that's okay. Sometimes you just have to start and let the wreath take over how you want. You just think of it as you're going. You can either fluff them out as you're working on the wreath, or you can put your ribbons in, and then I'm going to cut these. It's a couple fraying, and I don't like when they fray. You see? We're good on time right now. So, as you can see, that's how I'm going to do that one. And I will go through again later, and I will fix them a little bit more if I don't like the way they look. But, so again, just go. So I did cut too much ribbon, but if you're like, I just wanted to have my ribbons cut before I started this video. That way, you guys didn't have to sit here and watch me cut my ribbons, and then I gotta find, I don't know where the other pipe cleaner is, lost in here somewhere. Oh, I found him. He's buried down in there. Okay, so we open up our thing, our twisty, and you just twist it like a bread tie. This is not that hard, you guys. If you guys know how to twist a bread tie, you guys should know how to make this wreath, or it should not be that hard. It's very simple, very soothing, and you can't say it's gonna look bad because it's your creativity, and once you like it at the end of the day, that's all that matters. It's not what other people think, it's whatever you think. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my next ribbon with my thing, just add it on there, make sure it's kind of in the middle of things, fold it in half, pinch it, find your next. I'm just alternating, you guys, the ribbons, that way they're not the same ribbon throughout the whole thing. But if you decide, like I have a farmhouse one that I'm going to be making soon, I only got 2 ribbons for it because I don't want to add too many ribbons. So it's just going to be, I always just pair a 1.5 with a 2.5, just the way we have a small over a little. So yes, it's just like that. And as you can see, it's coming out. So we have 2 more ribbons to go. We got this one next with this one. And I really love this one with the honeycombs and the bees. The bees are just very detailed, and I love that. So yes, I try to go with more of my detailed ribbon as my 1.5 because it tends to be a little bit more cheaper, and then I just go with a more plain design or more of a solid. As you can see, I have the bees, and then I just have like the stripes, and the other one I have the polka dots, just because the polka dots and the stripes are a little bit more cheaper. And so I tend to go with the more cheaper ribbon for the 2.5, just because 2.5 tends to be more expensive than the 1.5 because you're getting more ribbon for one. So yes, then I'm gonna go in with my last polka dot for now, unless we change our mind later. Sometimes that always happens. Sometimes you go in to making a wreath with this idea, and when you're done with the wreath, it's not even what you pictured, but you love it more because once you started making it, your whole idea changed. Once you started making it, you're like, okay, no, I do not like that. It sounded good in my head, but now that I see it on the wreath, it is not what I imagined. And that is okay, because some people decide as they go, like me. And it's never set in stone until the wreath is done. Just like these ribbons are not set in stone, because sometimes I have the ribbons in and then I look at it and I'm like, nope, that's not how I like it. I don't like the way that looks. And see, they're just in. So for right now, I like the way this is looking with the ribbons coming out like that. But we're gonna put our sign up just to see what it looks like with our sign in. And we might even decide that I like because remember we still have these guys to add in. Well, I like to add them in. If I decide that I don't like the way they look. These are really cool, you guys. They're really soft. They just remind me of they almost look like pipe cleaners wrapped around. You think, right? And you might decide that you like the way this looks on the stick, and you might just add the whole spray you could go like this, and you could just add this whole spray in there. I don't like the way that looks. When I saw this online, I pictured cutting these and then adding these into the ribbon, or into the whole fiasco. But I haven't decided yet. I'm still deciding as I'm sitting here. So if I just sit here and you guys are like, okay, why isn't he just doing anything? It's because I'm still thinking. I feel like right here is just like really bare, but maybe it's because I don't know. You guys, thinking, let's see, this is what it goes like. Sometimes when I'm sitting here, I'm just looking at it, and many ideas come to my brain before I figure out what I'm actually going to do. Right now, I'm just kind of fluffing, as you can't really see. I'm fluffing my ribbons out. And you can pull these over. I like kind of like the contrast of them on top of each other, because they're all they're the same color. They're like it's like a black, white, and yellow theme. So I don't know. I think I might. I haven't decided. And like I said before, I didn't say this before, but right there, if that's really close, but that is my company, MB Crafts, and that's my email. If you want to email me, send me a picture, email me your design. If you see a wreath that you watch this video and then it inspires you to make another video, and you need to want to show me what you make at the end, I would love for you to send me a picture at my email. Right there it is, maxwellbeak13@gmail.com, and send me a picture of what you made. I would love to see it. Okay, so I like the way I like the wreath in the middle, but I also like, it needs to be in the middle. So I'm trying to think if I want to add more ribbon, because I think right now my wreath literally it looks bare right here. It looks bare. And down below, underneath the wreath, underneath it, I don't know if you can see, like right here, it looks bare. So I need to figure out something. But I don't know what yet. So, and I'm going to add these. I just have to figure out where I want to add these guys. Right now I'm not quite sure. They would look really cool if I added them into like they almost look really cool, like they would add into like the middle almost, but I don't know. I only have 5. I don't have 6. I'm thinking, you guys. So, see, this is why I never really did film videos, because I sit here for a while, and I don't want this video to like be very long where you guys are just sitting here watching me think. But I think I'm gonna just add the sign quick, make the sign, put the sign in, and that way I can once I get the sign in, then I'll decide. I would really like to add those so what I did for the sign was sorry, buddy, guys, my battery was just said my battery was low. But all I did for the sign was I just added these pipe cleaners, and I glued them down, and then I put the paper over, and then I folded them again, and I just hot glued them down. So I have them on each side. That way it does not come off. I'm very OCD about that. I don't want any of my stuff to come off, because that would not be good. That would be bad. Very bad. So what I do is, I don't know if you guys can see this, I'm actually going to use that one pipe cleaner that we added into the middle of the two. You know, we added those at the end, those two, like the 6 clumps, as you can see right here. This is the pipe cleaner right here, where I added that in between the other brackets, and I'm going to use that as my centerpiece, because that evenly makes me center with the ribbons between these two. That's where I want the sign to come to end. So that way it's nice and centered. So I have a ribbon on top and I have a ribbon on the bottom, and then I have, so what I'm going to do is I just bring them around, bring the pipe cleaner around all the way down. You're not going to really see the pipe cleaner, so it doesn't really matter what color you use. And if you decide that you want to use like floral wire. You can always use floral wire. I just think pipe cleaners are a little bit more thicker, so they give me a little bit more thicker of a, like a more thick base, or like stem to attach to. And I think I need to untwist this one a little bit, because I think I pulled it a little too much, that the sign was not letting me bring it over this way. So you just gotta bring them up to the two corners that you want, and then you gotta pull evenly, so that way you know your wreath is nice and even with in this middle. So what I'm doing is I'm just bringing them on each side like so. Okay, and now that I got it in, I'm gonna twist it so that way I don't lose it, and then I'm gonna see how this looks in the middle. So what I'm seeing is it's not quite centered evenly, and it's not tight because I can still move it around. So obviously I'm gonna have to, so like what I said is right here, and then I want this ribbon down here to be the other bottom, so that way it's the center, you guys. And I need to bring this over a little bit. My hot glue gun is really hot. Just almost touched it. That way you guys can see. There, now you guys can see the whole wreath. Hopefully it wasn't off-centered this whole time, which more than likely it probably was, because that's just how things go, but it's fine. And then I'm gonna bring this side over here. Okay. Whoa. Oop. Pull, 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 and then twist. And I need to add it to one end. Okay. See, that's what I didn't do. The other one. There. That wouldn't have been very good, because that would have... I just got to make sure that it's... that's a good idea, because I didn't have it... I didn't have the twisty around one of the wires of the wreath form. I had it around the pipe cleaner that I had attached to the thing. So it wasn't a very sturdy base, but... There you guys, now our sign is nice and secure, and it ain't going anywhere. So now that is done, and you like the way your sign looks, again, like I did with the other twisties, I twist them up, and you can either just fold them down, or you can kind of twist them around the bar. That way they don't scratch anyone's door, because you don't want to get a complaint or an email saying that my wreath scratched someone's door, because then I'll feel bad. So I make sure that I don't ever have to feel bad. By just making sure I don't leave any rough edges, especially when you're using floral wire, because that's a lot more scratchy. And for now that you have the wreath in the middle, these poofs are not going to come all the way, so I'm fine with them being out a little bit, because they really have nowhere to go because of the sign in the middle. But since the Bumblebee is looking good right here, I think I just brought my whole head underneath the wreath. I'm thinking, I think I just twisted one of the pipe cleaners. There we go. So now I'm thinking about what I want to do with those, these little things, these little cotton thingies, and I have a piece of mesh. So I'm thinking, I don't want to pull them off the stem yet unless I know I'm going to use them, because all of a sudden I might pull them off the stem and then I decide not to use them, and then I might be able to use them on the stem for something else. Maybe I make like a floral thing and I use this as the background or something. But for right now, I really think that like 2 of these in like just up here would look really cool. Like one up here, one up here, one up here, one up here. I really think that will look cool. So I think I am... Whoa! What came out of the stem? Okay. So I think I'm just going to cut these off now. So you're going to use your wire cutters. Handy dandy wire cutters. I stole these from my dad's tool thing. He always asks me, where's my stuff? My tools, they keep disappearing. And I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes I return them. I have another one up here that I need to return. I have a real big one. I should really return that one. This one. It's very big. I don't need that one up here. I'll throw that on my bed. So that way later when I'm about to go to bed, my bed is right behind me, so I use that as almost like a table as I'm crafting. So I just throw all my stuff in there. Okay, so I think this will look really cool. with these little balls right there. Those look really cool. And then I add these ones. These ones would get added like right down in here. I kind of make like a little like area for them, kind of poof down the mesh, that way that they have an area to sit and be and not. So yeah, I think that looks really, I like the way that looks. I usually tend to like things when they're in like even, uneven, odd numbers. But for this is like going against what I really like today. It's actually going against it, and I like the way this looks. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to quick take a scissors before I glue that down. And I'm going to take these bigger, longer pipe cleaners, and I'm actually going to take a wire cutters because that scissors is really long and I don't want to cut the mesh. And I just cut those down and I push them down. There's another one right here, just because I don't want these sticking out. Some people do when they're using the work forms, since they come with like those really shiny, like, almost like, those really shiny, like, sparkly, tinsely, twisty ties. Some people like to let those show because they bring some color. It's just that I don't like the pipe cleaners because they just don't look, I don't think they look that great coming out of that. So yes, this guy I'm going to have to fix a little bit and bring it down. Once it gets hot glued, it'll stay down. I didn't think of that. So, yes. So, as you guys can see, it takes me a while to, and I'm just going to do that down here quick. You're not going to be able to see it, but you guys get the hang of it. Cut your twisties. I left those ones long because I didn't know where I was going to add I didn't really wasn't quite sure where I was going to add the other, I don't know where the other twisties are. I only see one. There's not another one over here, which is quite odd. There has to be one somewhere, but I don't see it. So, oh, right here maybe. Yep, it's in here. It's in the mesh. Oh wait, no, maybe not. Okay, it's fine, you guys. It's fine. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my hot glue gun, which I don't know if I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna use my hot glue gun or my skillet, which I don't want. I'm probably gonna use my hot glue gun because my skillet is just gonna get everywhere and I don't want it to end up here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my big, huge hot glue gun. As you can see, this thing is massive, and if you touch it, it burns. That's like really hot, and it'll leave you with really bad burns. And oh, today it's gonna work. Some days it doesn't want. See, like now I have to push on the glue stick because the glue stick, and I'm putting a lot on there because I don't want these to fall off. And I'm just gonna add them down in there, and I'm just gonna sit and hold them down a little bit, let them dry, because sometimes it tends to like to, if it's still not dry, it likes to bring up the mesh and poof up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do that to the other one. If there's any like stuff on these, there's a little bit of like hot glue strings on this one, and see, it's gonna let me bring it up, and then it's gonna stop. Okay, there we go. Just had enough before my hot glue ran out, and I even brought, I knew it was gonna run out, so I even brought, oh, I got hot glue on my fingers. It hurts. Okay, so I knew I was gonna run out, so I got some more hot glue sticks because I use a lot of hot glue. I rather use a lot of hot glue than not enough and then run out. Or then I'd rather use a lot of hot glue and make sure that this thing is not moving anywhere. Because I don't want this to end up falling off. I don't want them to fall off. So I'd rather use just more hot glue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over. Flip this the other way around so you guys can see it. That way you don't have to, because I'm not going to be able to get the camera to go back the other way. So I have the other ones right here. Got this one and this one. And I think it just fills in perfectly. I think 5 would have been, and that there was really no place where I could put the 5th one, actually, so it wouldn't have really worked anyways. But I can always use that for another one, and I left it on the top, so I could always cut these stems off, and I would still have a nice big stem for this guy if I use it for something. Who knows, I might make like a small, like, little arrangement with like a bee or something, and it might be perfect. I'll always find something. I'll find something to put that in. So what I'm doing again is just adding more hot glue, and I just let it come off, and then I just stick it down there, and like I said, I just hold it down there, and I'm trying to get the hot glue little like strings off the sign, because I don't want them to get on the sign. And again, oh, I'm not even in camera, but you guys know what it's like. Just adding the balls down into, and this is upside down, yes, but it's nice and even. I can tell that the balls are right above, like right even with each other, so it's not perfect. And I really love the way this wreath looks. I think this is one of my favorite wreaths so far. I'll show you guys my 4th of July wreath that I made. Well, I don't consider them 4th of July, and I don't buy signs that say specifically what holiday, because I want to make a patriotic wreath where they can put it up for all the different patriotic seasons. So they can put it up for 4th, they can put it up for Memorial Day, they can put it up for Veterans Day, they can put it up for Labor Day, they can put it up for all the different days that consist of that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to cut all the pipe cleaners that are wrapped around my ribbons. So I'm just going to make sure it's nice and tight, and I'm going to do like a couple little twists, and they're nice and yellow, so I'm not worried about hiding them once I cut them, because they kind of help bring in a little bit more yellow to the wreath. So yes. And when I was making this wreath, guys, after I bought the supplies, I was kind of worried, and I kind of got anxious that it might have been too much black and yellow, but now that I'm doing this, I think it's perfect. I really think it's like perfect amount, and it's not too much and it's not too little. And then I'm just gonna fluff out the wreath, or the tails. So I'm gonna quick do these, and then I'm gonna set this up on my wreath stand, so that way you guys can see what it looks like from afar, and then we can go and look at it from that perspective, and we'll be able to see if there's any holes or if there's anything I missed. Otherwise, guys, I think we're almost done. And this video is, I don't really know. I keep having this, there's like this YouTube thing on my phone. We're at almost an hour, so I would like to keep this just under an hour, or just a little bit over. I don't want this video to be too long, because, except for some people are going to be binge watching these videos right now because everyone's stuck inside their houses and they have nothing to do. So why not go watch some wreath videos, because everyone loves wreath videos, right? I know I've been watching some wreath videos and I've been getting a lot of inspiration. I was watching Monkey's Creations the other day, and I saw her making a mermaid tail wreath, and I think it's so cool. And I really want to make one of them, so I think eventually I'm going to get that board, and I'm going to get some mesh. I have some 21-inch mesh that would look really cool with that, but she used 10-inch, and I think 10-inch will work a lot better than 21-inch, because I think 21-inch is all too big, especially with the method that she used with the little curls. I don't think you can really do that with 21-inch mesh. So yes, I'm going through right now and just bringing the tails out. Okay, so now guys, I'm gonna quick do a actually I'm not gonna really show you. I have a hanger made already, but what I do is I take a piece of metal or wire. I get this at Walmart. It's 55-pound 16 gauge wire, and I take it and I pull it out of the thing, and I do about 4.5 to 4 inches, and then I fold it. It's so thin you can bend it with your hands, you guys. You don't need like a pliers for this part. And I make like a circle, and then I come over to the end and I bring it around a little bit, and I make sure it's even on both sides. And then I go onto my wreath, wherever you're going to be adding this, wherever you decide you want your wreath center to be. So you can see right here, it's like the center. I slip the hooks underneath, and I take my pliers, and I go right by those pliers, and I pinch them. That way they start to, this is kind of awkward because my phone is like balancing over here on this tripod, and I don't want to bump into it and knock this phone off the tripod. And then I sometimes take glue, sometimes you don't have to. For this one I am, because a wreath where it really should be centered. Otherwise, I don't want the sign to be crooked at all, just in case the thing kind of moves a little bit. And I just bring some hot glue in. I don't want to burn my fingers. It's a little close. And then I just let it dry a little bit. And I don't want it to seep. It's seeping down into the... And I'm just gonna play with it a little bit with this. I guess you're not gonna really see it on the back, and I guess if it seeps, and we know it's not gonna move, but we're just gonna go in with our fingers, kind of help it dry a little bit, get it all over, pinch it a little bit. By now, it's not even really hot anymore, so it's not gonna burn your fingers. But if you are worried about burning your fingers, you can always use like a little piece of paper or go in with some plastic or something. And so that's how I make my hanger. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quick go out of the way. I'll be right there. I'm gonna take this off of take this other wreath off my wreath stand. I do not have a big easel yet. I need to buy one. I actually think my dad's gonna make me one. And this wreath is almost too big for that. But I'm gonna quick fluff it, as you can see. And then I'll take you guys down from that tripod and we'll quick, make sure my sign is nice and even. Fluff out the tails of this ribbon a little bit more. Make sure they're nice and straight. Right up here on top, they're kind of folding under, but I think it's because that the poofs behind it are kind of in the way. Okay. And then I think we're done, you guys. So I'm gonna quickly take you guys down from there. We actually got a couple little stringy things over here by this tail. I'm gonna quick cut them off. And then before my camera or my phone dies, because it had a low battery before, but I don't think my 10% came up yet, so I think we're still good. But just in case, I don't want it to. So guys, get ready, because I'm gonna be taking this off the tripod. I don't want my phone. I don't want you guys to get sick or get dizzy or anything. So I'm gonna quick take this off of the camera, and then we're gonna bring it back, and that is what this wreath looks like, you guys. We got this one's actually a little bit higher, but we can always bring that down. And now it's perfect. This guy is a little bit in the way. I'll probably go through after I'm done with this video. I don't want to sit here and bore you guys, but I'm gonna fluff it a little bit more and get it nice and even and make sure it's all the tails are nice. But as you can see, all our tails are nice and coming out. Is up here and down here. Right here is kind of puffed up because it's on the floor, obviously, because this is only a really tiny little like a easel type thing, so you can't really hang big wreaths on it. But eventually I'm going to be making a big easel to go on the floor, so it's way up in the air. But for right now, I don't have that. But which I can actually, you guys, I'm going to actually just put you guys back up on this tripod for 1 second, and I'll hang it on my wall. That will be a lot better. Let's grab this, take this off. 1 second, you guys. We'll take this off the wall, one of my posters in my room, and we'll hang this wreath on the wall. We'll do a quick little adjustment to this top one, and we'll bring the phone over their way, and we'll do a quick, sorry guys, and then that's what it looks like from a distance. So the sign is perfectly even. Those two right here have to come in a little teeny bit, but we can always, I think in person it looks like it's fine. Oh, right there, I think I just got that one at least. But now it looks like this one has to still come down a little bit. Sometimes you just have to move their fabric, and this thing's, I'm gonna have to move these things a little bit just to help bring that together. But look at that, guys. It looks perfect. Now I kind of move the sign. I'll go through and I'll probably put a little bit of hot glue on the ends of the sign to help bring it in and twist the things a little bit more. I just didn't want to do it too much because I wanted you guys to be able to see what I was doing. But right now it looks good. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and comment down below what you guys want to see. Like I was talking before, if you guys like the videos like this, any ideas. And like I said, if you guys see any inspiration that I gave you, make sure to email me. I have my email in the video on the back of that sign, like I showed you. What you guys made, because I love to see what you guys made. And love to see what I inspired you to do. So, yes, till next time, bye.